Good day, class. I'm Sir Christian, and I welcome you to our second week. And this will be our first lesson or topic for this week. That is about fallacies in arguments, okay? Or we talk about logical fallacies in arguments. Now, I want you, class, to please listen attentively and complete watching this video because this is extremely important because there are some concepts that might be challenging or complex, but if thorough uh, focus on this video and also for supplementary studies and readings, you can really understand the topic. You can chunk it down into pieces. Okay, so that is our topic: fallacies in arguments. Di ba, class, in our yung daily interactions natin, whether through conversation in school or sa media, even sa Facebook or sa social platforms, we are constantly presented with a lot of opinions and arguments. In fact, it, there are people in social media who will really uh, do their best to argue or to assert their opinion to others. So this is a reality that we can't escape. This is inescapable, class. However, not all arguments are valid, or some of their arguments are not valid if we'll try to base it on sound arguments. So some contain yung tinatawag nating logical fallacies or errors in reasoning that weaken the argument and mislead people. So today, we will explore logical fallacies and learning to identify them and understand how they undermine logical thinking. By doing so, we can enhance our ability to think critically, evaluate arguments objectively, and of course, avoid being swayed by wrong reasoning or yung mga faulty reasoning. Okay? So, yes, when we talk about logical fallacies, this is really prevalent in society, especially in the area of politics, advertisements, and even casual discussions. For instance, class, during elections or public debates, diba, we often see how arguments are shaped by fallacies to manipulate public opinion. And recognizing these fallacies not only helps us to see through misleading arguments, but also ensures we are more thoughtful and rational in our own reasoning. So, your lesson outcome for today is for you to identify fallacies across situations in daily life. Okay? Again, as what I've said earlier, when we talk about fallacy, the closest term for that is false. That's wrongness. That is defect. Sa Bisaya, pagguba. No, there is something wrong with your argument, no, with your statement. Fallacy is a defect in an argument other than its having false premises. To detect fallacies, it is required to examine the argument's content. So these are common in reasoning that will undermine the logic of our arguments, and this can be either legitimate arguments or irrelevant points. And fallacy also are often identified because they lack evidence that supports their claim. So usually, yung mga fallacies, kulang po siya ng mga evidences that would support someone's claim that this is true. Yung opinion niya is really true or convincing. Okay? So yan po yung fallacy. If nahirapan ka i-perceive yung fallacy, try to think of any sports. Diba? Even basketball ba yan, volleyball, table tennis, sepak-takraw, badminton. These are sports, and think of these sports as what we call logic. Consider these sports as logic. Diba logic, it's one of the branches of philosophy. Logic, okay, it talks about certitude. It's the correctness of or the logical arrangement of your ideas or statements. So think of logic as a sport. And when we talk about sport, there are conventions. When we say conventions, there are rules to follow. Basically, you cannot play basketball if you will not abide to the rules and regulations of the sports basketball or to badminton. And in fact, it will not be a game without any instructions or rules at all, di ba? So, sports is known for its conventions. Meron siyang rules na fina-follow. So, think of logic as sports. And sometimes, some players are not free from violations when they play a game in basketball. No, may mga fault, uh, violations, no, if it really of if the player misses or missed some important rules, no, na dapat ma-follow niya while playing the game. So these are violations, and considered violations of basketball, badminton, or what any sports is, think of it as fallacy. So it means that fallacy is uh, a violation of logic. No? Any violations in the branch of philosophy called logic is a fallacy. So, mga violations po ay fallacy po yan sa logic. Okay? So, yan po yung fallacy. And we'll discuss several or numerous major examples of fallacy or types of fallacy. First is we'll talk about argumentum ad misericordiam, or appeal to pity. Again, number one fallacy is argumentum ad misericordiam or appeal to pity. Argumentum ad misericordiam class, this is a specific kind of appeal to emotion in which someone tries to win support for an argument or idea by exploiting his or her opponent's feeling of pity or guilt. Okay? So, kinukuha mo yung kalooban ng isang tao so that if you get his or her pity, that person will empathize, no, sa iyo. So that's it. And this is when someone attempts to persuade others by provoking feelings of guilt or pity. Instead of presenting factual information and evidence to support an argument, one may try to play on people's feelings. Pinaglalaraan po niya yung feelings ng isang tao so that he or she can manipulate you, can get his or her needs sa'yo. Okay? So, example, Sir Christian, could you please change my grade from 77 to 90 in philosophy? I really worked hard for this assignment. I even pulled an all-nighter to finish on time. And, sir, my parents will be so disappointed if my grade is 77. So, you are begging to your teacher using what? Feelings. Okay? Touching the emotion of your teacher to get your favor. What's your favor in this example? You want na from 77, it will be changed to 90 yung grade dahil magagalit yun. So you are begging, you are touching the emotions, and your justification is para hindi ma-disappoint yung parents ninyo. So that will touch the emotional or the conscience of the teacher. So nandyan sa teacher kung uh, we will follow this because if susundod ito ni teacher, it will be unethical to do, no? Hindi siya tama, hindi siya ethical na gawin. So that is appeal to pity fallacy. Okay? So another, we hear that most illegal immigrants are not violent criminals. Ask the victims or relatives of people who have died or have been injured by illegal immigrants how they feel about this argument. Okay? You are empathizing. You are getting the empathy of someone using the lived experiences, emotions, feelings, detrimental encounters of the people. Okay? So that's it. try this class to decode this. Pause this video and try to decode this. When I say decode, try to analyze this, to break it down into pieces. Why such thing, why this statement or this example is part of uh, what do you call this? This fallacy, appeal to pity. Okay? The statement is yung kanina about the victims. Okay? And if we'll try to rationalize this class, in this example, or the example earlier, the speaker is using the suffering or pain of victims or their relatives as evidence to support their argument. However, the natural sympathy we feel for the victims and their families does not prove the conclusion to be true. Examples that all illegal immigrants are violent criminals. So you are evoking feelings of sympathy, and the speaker tries to dismiss the original argument that not all illegal immigrants are violent offenders, diba? Without really providing any factual evidence or logical reasoning. So while the suffering of victims, ano yung sabi kanina, and the relatives should be acknowledged, but it does not necessarily invalidate the argument. Okay? That's it. Okay, next fallacy is we have argumentum ad ignorantiam or appeal to ignorance. Ito, argumentum ad ignorantiam or appeal to ignorance. This fallacy occurs when you argue that your conclusion must be true. It must, because there is no evidence against it. This fallacy wrongly shifts the burden of proof away from the one making the claim. It means that whatever has not been proven false must be true, and whatever has not been proven false must be true as well. So, kasi wala pong nag-prove na mali ito, you are assuming that this statement is true at all because wala pang naka-reject. Okay? So, that is a fallacy. Okay? It doesn't mean na wala pang naka-reject, it is always correct. And argumentum ad ignorantiam, this is its negative form. There is no evidence to support why, therefore y is false. So for example, there's no evidence to support, let's substitute y with God. There's no evidence to support God, therefore God is false, or other way around. Okay, so appeal to ignorance example, since you haven't been able to prove your innocence, I must assume you're guilty. Or you know that scientists can't prove the UFOs or unidentified flying objects do not visit the earth, so it makes sense to believe in them. So, or last is even the atheist Freud admitted that the existence of God can't be disproved, so we have good reason to continue to believe in him. That is still a fallacy class. Or you cannot prove that ghosts don't exist, therefore they must exist. Or you cannot prove that ghosts exist, therefore they don't exist. The reality class is that appealing to ignorance doesn't provide any real evidence. It only points out that we do not know something. In this type of argument was valid, it could be used to support yung tinatawag nating two opposing statements. Okay? Next is this what we call equivocation, or the fallacy of equivocation occurs when a key term or phrase in an argument is used in an ambiguous way with one meaning in one portion of the argument and then another meaning in another portion of the argument. So, equivocation, there is a logical chain of reasoning, sunod-sunod po yung chain, but in a word several times, but given the particular word a different meaning each time. Kumbaga, nagiging ambiguous to mean to mean two or more things. Okay? Sabi mo kanina, this is the meaning of that word, pero sa second statement mo, iba naman yung meanings ng the same word. So parang ambiguous, no? Nakakalito. Yan po yung equivocation. Or A is B, C is A, therefore C is B. Okay? For example, A there is salad and B is healthy. Let's say macaroni salad, no? Yung C is macaroni salad. Okay? Again, we substitute A, salad. B, ano yung B natin? Healthy. C is macaroni salad. Okay, that's our substitution of A, B, and C. And let's follow the logic. A, salad. So salad is, B is healthy. So salad is healthy. And C is macaroni salad. So salad is healthy. And macaroni salad is a salad. Kasi A natin is salad. Therefore, C is our macaroni salad. Macaroni salad is B. Ano yung B natin? That's healthy. Okay, so it will follow the logic. Salad is healthy. Macaroni salad is a salad. Therefore, macaroni salad is healthy. That is equivocations. Not all salads are healthy, guys. Diba? So that is example. Noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirin will make a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirin will make noisy children go away. So, parang ina-associate mong isang bagay kasi sabi mo yung aspirin, the first meaning ng aspirin dito is to cure headaches. And you use the same word but different meaning in your next statement so that it will make noisy children go away. You still use aspirin but iba na po yun siya, no? That is murag piniluso po na siya. So that would not make, it does not assure that it will make noisy children go away. Just your headache but not the children in the environment, di ba? That is example of equivocation. Or company, no, pharmaceutical kanang mga nagbebenta ng mga what do you call this, medicine, just like mercury drugs, di ba? States that a drug could have minor side effects when they know that the drug can actually cause heart attacks. Okay? So that is equivocation. Next, we have the fallacy of composition or the composition fallacy. This is a fallacy that involves assuming that parts or members of a whole will have the same properties as the whole. This leads to wrong conclusions because what is true of the different parts is not necessarily true of the whole. So, yung mga inferences based on this type of reasoning are considered to be fallacious because the collective, the group as a whole, and distributive, the members of a group, do not necessarily share the same properties. In other words, class, the mere fact that individuals have certain characteristics does not, in itself, guarantee that the class or the group taken as a whole has those characteristics too. Okay? Example, proper form of composition. This is not equivocation but composition. Y is part of X. Y has property A. Therefore, X also has a property A. Follow this logic. Y is part of X. Y has property A. Therefore, X also has property A. Example, this house is made of bricks. A brick is light in weight. Therefore, this house is also light in weight. So, you are assuming that the material, di ba? Material that's the part of the house is a brick and it's light, and you are assuming that everything, the totality of the house, the entirety of the house is also lightweight. It does not give assurance na same po yung properties ng parts sa whole niya. That is composition. Or if a spoonful of soup, yung sinigang, is spicy, then we can safely conclude that the whole pot of sinigang soup is spicy. Okay? So, ganun siya ba? We also have the opposite of composition, that is division, fallacy of division. This fallacy is similar to the fallacy of composition but in reverse. No? Opposite po siya, reciprocal. This fallacy involves someone taking an attribute of a whole or a class and assuming that it must also necessarily be true of each part or member. Since kanina sa composition, nagsimula tayo sa parts, Ano yung properties ng parts, yun din yung properties ng whole. But sa division is it starts with the whole. Ano yung properties ng whole, yun din yung magiging properties or characteristics or katangian ng mga parts niya. That is division. So one reasons logically that something true of a thing must also be true of all or some of its parts. Okay? Yung proper form ng division is X has property P, therefore all parts of X have this property P. Let's substitute it. X has property P. Let's say, let's say, let's have an example daw. Think of an example, substitute it with X and P, diba? X has property P. Birds has wings, diba? Therefore, all birds, ay, diba? Therefore, all kinds of birds, which is our X, can have wings. So, yan na siya. Okay? Or, let's say, all birds man have wings, or yes. Let's follow the logic again. All birds can fly. Therefore, all kinds of all kinds of birds can fly as well. So, ganun no. Parang yung kanina kong example is logical siya kasi tanan namang lahat ng mga birds may mga pakpak. If I don't know if may mga birds ba na walang pakpak, but one of the unique characteristic of birds because it has wings. But let's follow the logic. X has property P, therefore all parts or members of X have this property P. In the fallacy of division, so if birds can fly, therefore all kinds of birds, which is our X there, can fly as well because we associate P as fly. No? But not all birds can fly in reality. So that is division. You begin with general to a specific rule. It looks like a updated form or version of this what we call deductive, no? From general to specific. That is division fallacy. Okay, another example. The American judicial system is a fair system. Therefore, the defendant got a fair trial and was not executed unfairly. There are case-to-case basis, class, that there are partiality and inequality po when it comes to judicial system. Kahit hindi yan sa Amerika, kahit sa Pilipinas, iba pa bansa, meron ding mga unfair system. So this is a division example kasi nag-start siya ng general, American judicial system, that's general, broad, down to specific. Okay? Or all dogs are from the Canidae family, therefore my Doberman is from the Canidae family. All men are mortal, therefore Socrates is mortal. Okay? So we also have argumentum ad hominem or against the person. Argumentum ad hominem. Ito yung pinaka-common argumentum ad hominem against the person. Ito yung personalism na instead you are talking about the arguments, parang pinipoint out mo na yung personal life ng tao. Hindi na ng you are against the one who argued, not the arguments anymore. Diba? That is ad hominem or an attempt to discredit someone's argument by personally attacking them instead of discussing the argument itself. Criticism is directed towards the opponent's character, which is irrelevant to discussions. Okay? That is ad hominem or personal attack or personalism sa sociology. This is often used as a diversion tactic to shift attention to unrelated point like a person's character or motives and avoid addressing the actual issue. It is common in both formal and informal contexts, ranging from political debates to online discussions. So, for example, Sabi ni person 1, I think it is important to enforce minimum wage legislation so that workers are not exploited. Sabi din ni person 2, nonsense. You only say that because you just can't get a good job. Okay, hala, 'di ba? You just can't get a good job. That is personally attacking person 1, no? Not the statement of legislation anymore, but personal life na niya. You can just good job, no? Siguro kalagot si person 2 kang person 1. Okay? That is yung, again, yun po yung argumentum ad hominem. Instead of addressing the argument, this fallacy attacks the person making it. Usually, common yan sa debates, di ba? Yung during elections, yung mga kandidato may be criticized based on their personal life or scandals rather than their platforms or policies. Instead of focusing on their competence, critic might say, you can't trust that politician because they've been involved in a divorce or a scandal. That is ad hominem, personal attack. Wala pong perfect na politician, okay? So, next tayo guys is we have argumentum ad baculum or appeal to force. Wala na yung pinakahadlok, appeal to force, okay? Or authority. The argumentum ad baculum is based upon the appeal to force or threat in order to bring about the acceptance of conclusions. Kung di madalag storya, kulatahon mo na ni argumentum ad baculum, force, any force ha, it might be authority or physical force. So this is an argument where force, coercion, or the threat of force is given as justification for a conclusion. So if statement P or argument A is accepted, then logically irrelevant event X will happen. Event X there is harmful, dangerous, or threatening. Okay. Hindi kay ka maminaw sa ako, kulatahon ta ka, nga na siya. That is argumentum ad baculum. O, sabi ni chairman of the board, example ni, all those opposed to my arguments for the opening of a new department signify by saying I resign. O, ginamit ni chairman yung power niya, yung authority niya, kung sino daw lahat mag-oppose sa opening ng bagong department, dapat mag-resign. No? Unfair naman yan, di ba? So that is ad baculum, authoritarian na siya. No? Yung parang North Korea na siya. Okay? Or the DOT, the Department of Transportation, needs to reconsider the speed limit proposals on interstate highways for the simple reason that if they do not, their departmental budget for Department of Transportation will be cut by 25%. Ang kadako po, di ba? So that's it. Or I'm sure you can support the proposal to diversify into the fast food industry because if I receive any opposition on this initiative, I will personally see that you are transferred to the janitorial division of this corporation. Instead ma-promote, na-demote na noon siya sa janitor, di ba? That is using authority. Hindi siya physical, but yung authority niya associated with the position. Okay? Next, this is common to youth nowadays. Argumentum ad populum, or that is appeal to the people or appeal to popularity. Kung unsa tong sikat, maoy ginasunod. Okay? Or ad populum refers to the claim that something is true simply because that's what a large number of people believe. In other words, if many people believe something to be true, then it must be true. Okay? Sige, this type of argument is often used when there is no real evidence to back up a certain claim. And other term for argumentum ad populum is bandwagon fallacy or appeal to numbers or appeal to popularity. This can be found in advertisements, speeches, and everyday discussions. So when we are trying class to persuade someone about our ideas, preferences, or beliefs, it is often tempting to simply claim that the majority of the people agree with us. Words that imply that many people believe, do, or buy something, such as the majority, are typical to this fallacy. Okay, example, you're at the bookstore. Nagbrowse ka ng books with a friend, although you are a fan of science fiction books, your friend picks up a memoir and tells you that you should read the book because it's a bestseller. Bestseller kasi, yun yung mostly pinipili ng mga tao, since ito po yung mostly people's choice, yun din yung pina-follow nyo. You are against your interest anymore kasi sinusunod mo na kung sino yung uso. Okay, or when you really want to listen to a song but yung trending sa Facebook, marami nang nood, naki-check ka din ka, so yun pina-follow nyo. Or masikat yung iPhone, iPhone 16 ba yun or 15 ngayon, no? So, kahit hindi pa sira yung phone mo, you are really begging your parents to buy a new phone kasi yun yung trending, yun yung latest ngayon. So, that is ad populum, guys. That is a fallacy. That's wrong. Okay? Do not do that. Okay? Walang ad populum. Okay? So, I might share this to you guys next month probably, because this is a long story and it needs interactive, no? It needs, interaction from you, class. Okay? So, next na yan. We align it to another lesson. So, next is we have the post hoc fallacy or the false cause. Ito, post hoc false cause. It is the assumption that because one event preceded another event, they must be causally related. In other words, the first event must have caused the second. However, the chronological order of two events does not prove a cause and effect relationship between them. Since the event followed this one, that event must have been caused by this one. This fallacy is also referred to as coincidental correlations or correlation not causation. So, kuan siya ba? Coincidence. Kana gali. Gipasangin na nimo nga mao ni ang cause, but this is not really the cause. Coincident lang nga nagkasunod sila paghitabo, but you just blame it because of this, but that is not really the true reason why something is wrong. Okay, that is post hoc. So, when one argues that because B happened immediately after A must be the cause of B. The point is not that there can't be a causal connection between A and B, but rather than there isn't adequate evidence for the conclusion. So, example, my computer crashed after I installed a new piece of editing software. I'm sure the software caused the crash. Okay? What if, di ba dito na paspasok yung delusional natin, what if it's not actually the software that caused the computer crash? What if merong short circuit? Okay? Sa bahay ninyo, 'di ba? Or meron kang napindot or mali yung pagka-install mo, 'di ba? It's not intrinsically directly blame, we can directly blame it to the software, 'di ba? There are other factors that made the real cause. O kana mga sige pasangil dira, o mao na siya, post hoc na siya, guys. Okay? So that is post hoc or false cause, no? Ay di ay mao, sorry. Makaingon din tagi nga na if we have realizations, no? So that is do not directly blame, since mao ni nahitabo ikaw na dahil or kana nanguhit sa likod. O ang katapad na gali nimo mo imong gipasangilan nga mo'y nanguhit even though dili siya mao. So that is post hoc or false cause. Seeing that it is dark outside makes me feel tired. Darkness causes tiredness. That's your conclusion, okay? So that's not, hindi po related yung darkness, directly related yung darkness at saka tiredness, okay? We also have hasty generalization. Grabe, pinakasayo ni nga fallacy. This is the easiest fallacy, although that's my opinion, but hasty generalization, it's like you are generalizing an entire group that this might be true or not. Okay, for example, walang evidence. One commits errors if one reaches an inductive generalization based on a broad conclusion upon the statistics of a survey of a small group. Okay, hasty generalization is, we called it also overgeneralization fallacy or faulty generalization, an argument from small numbers. Example, you have a transit flight via Frankfurt Airport, Germany. On the way to your gate, several passengers hastily bump into you without even apologizing. Therefore, you concluded that Germans are so rude. No? Generalizing, hindi po lahat ng Germans mga rude. Mayroon po din yung mababait At pwede nyo jojowain in the future if you want to. Okay? So, it's not necessarily good to state that all Germans are so rude. Okay? Yan. Or I've met two people in Greece so far, and they were both nice to me, so all the people I will meet in Greece will be nice to me. Generalizing, lahat ng mga Greek people are kind or nice. No, there are still deviant. Si deviant, there's are people who are non-law abiding citizens, criminals like that. No, di man dyan, yung criminals universal man yan. 'Di ba, kahit it's regardless of your uh, nationalism or national identity or your citizenship. Okay? We also have Petitio Principii, fallacy of Petitio Principii, that is begging the question. Petitio Principii, that's begging the question. So this is a fallacy in which the proposition to be proven is assumed implicitly or explicitly in the premise. So this is a phrases used to express the premises are synonymous with the words and phrases used to express conclusions. Meron po yung rewording of the premises. This is also called as circular argument because the conclusion essentially appears both at the beginning and end of the arguments, and it creates parang endless circle, balik-balik na lang without any substance at all. Okay? The basic structure of Petitio Principii is A is true because A is true, or A is true because B is true, and B is true because A is true, or A is true because B is true, and B is true because C is true, and C is true because A is true. You can see, it likes a cycle, nagbalik-balik siya. Ni-start siya kang A, nibalik na po siya kang A. Nag-start siya kang A, nado siya kang B, pero nibalik ragyapon siya sa A. Ni A siya, number 3, A siya, niabot siya kang B, niabot siya kang C, pero si C, nibalik gihapon siya kang A. There's a cycle. Nagtuyok-tuyok lang, gina-point out lang nimo ang first statement mo, gina-rewording lang nimo siya. You are just like rephrasing without any substance. Okay? Mura kag nagtuyok-tuyok lang imuhang giingon. Okay, for example, you should drive on the right side of the road because that is what the law says, and the law is the law. Okay? Instead, you need to be there is a specific justification, there are meaning or interpretations behind it. You rather not express that statement because law is law, period, tapos na. So that is Petitio Principii. It seems like you are begging someone to please stop asking me about this because that is already a law. You don't need to I don't need to explain it about it because that is law, that's common sense, period. That is Petitio Principii because plus even that, you are not using your reason. Okay? Oh, decode natin yung kanina example. Driving on the right side of the road is mandated by law. So when someone questions why we should do that, they are questioning the law. But if we offer reasons to follow this law and say, because that is the law, we are begging the question. We are assuming the validity of what the other person was questioning in the first place. It says in the Bible that God exists. Since the Bible is God's word and God never speaks falsely, then everything in the Bible must be true, so God must exist. That is natituyok siya, no? That is Petitio Principii or circular thinking. Okay, class, and I want you, class, to reflect on this. Sabi ni Shaw, the moment we want to believe something, we suddenly see all the arguments for it and become blind to arguments against it. Okay? So, that ends our discussion about fallacies. No, it was quite many, but hopefully you can learn more about it by having your personal studies. No, and class, these fallacies are not unique only to our country. No, but they are frequently observed in public discourse, especially during elections, political debates, and yung mga media coverage. Okay? So, maraming pang types of fallacies, but we'll just discuss those important fallacies. Okay? Thank you and God bless.